There she is.
Yay!
Hello, hello. Well, let me start by I actually didn't even do a proper introduction. So, to everyone watching, and everyone who will see this at a later date, welcome back to Conversations with Allieetoile. Today we are having a special edition. Um, and I have the lovely someone who is very, very special in my life and someone who I think is going to be able to provide some amazing insight to all of you. The incredible and beautiful, lovely Helen Elizabeth Powell, who is a brand ambassador, makeup artist, and overall beauty guru affiliated to the brand bareMinerals. So I am going to hand this metaphorical microphone over to you and allow you to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about who you are
Yeah.
and what you do.
Hello. So I'm Helen. This is the first time I've ever gone live, so it feels so weird but lovely. Woo!
Yay!
Um, yeah, so I'm a beauty ambassador for bareMinerals, and I'm really proud to be. I have worked for them for over 11 years. And yeah, I suppose I'm an all-round artist in the fact that I love to sing, but normally just in the shower. I love to obviously perform, but mainly obviously serve people with an amazing product and working in such a wonderful industry. And I get to meet people like you, which has been
Yay!
brilliant and such a enlightening experience, obviously, from that first day that you rocked into the store. And then obviously the rest was history.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting too because so many people have wrote into me and they were like, what is Conversations with Ali Atoile going to look like if it's not necessarily a guest speaker who is affiliated with the ballet world? And one of the biggest things that I have been preaching on this series is the importance of balance and the importance of diversity in our lives. And I think it's important that, you know, especially at this time, at least for the majority of my followers, they all know me and identify with who I am as being Ali the ballerina. But I've been trying to highlight how important it is to identify Ali the person and the person within all of us as artists and creators alike. And so it's definitely something that's, to me at the very least, important to open people's eyes and to normalize and have a little bit more care and attention to those unique things that make us individuals and who we are when we're not dancing. And so you have always been a light in my life and someone who has spread so much positivity amongst many other things as well. So that's why I'm beyond delighted to have you on here today. And we have an amazing range of topics and even you know, product wise as well that we were going to be discussing. So I'm going to start asking a couple of questions that have already been sent into you or sent into me for you. So the first
Yeah,
thing, obviously, you know, you have an affiliation with the cosmetic company bareMinerals. And so obviously in this time in the world right now, ballet aside, it's just a difficult time. And businesses and people are all really struggling. And there is definitely a lot of fear and, you know, just concern as to what's going to be. So, what can you tell us a little bit, at least since you are in a manager position with this company? So, what can you talk about with what bareMinerals is doing right now to ensure the safety and the well being of their staff, as well as being able to continue to provide for the many millions of customers around the world?
I think the first thing was that obviously their customers and their staff are their first priority above all, to obviously make sure that we're safe, and that I think, like many other companies, they've put the steps in place to protect us and to make sure that we're okay. And I think things for the fact that the stores are closed and you can't buy us in the shops, but they took a while to make sure that they put steps in place online to make sure that you can buy your products now. And I was so excited when I first saw that it was back online. I thought to myself, okay, what am I running low on? What can I not stand to be without?
Yeah.
And amazingly, you can still purchase our products on bareMinerals, which is incredible. But I think we really do champion this power of good, which obviously we've talked about before. But I think the main thing is as a brand, we are a massive community. We're a family. We all miss each other so much. We miss our customers, we miss our staff, we miss just the normal day-to-day routine. Especially for myself, working for them for 11 years. I feel like my right arm's been chopped off because obviously, I'm not at work, but our company are incredible. The products are incredible, but mainly at the moment as a company, for us staff to keep us motivated, to keep us positive, our amazing education team have created these daily doses of motivation. So every day there's something funny that we're sort of sharing on our private work platforms to do with, like today is which celebrity we think we look like, and everyone will laugh at me, but I clearly feel that I look like Hailey Bieber because she is obviously an ambassador for us, and everyone knows that I love Justin Bieber. But yeah, so I think every day they've been doing something different. It could be baking a cake, it could be a fitness routine, how they've helped their community around them, how they've helped a neighbor, or so overall I think like lots of companies, they've just had to follow the steps that the government are advising, and obviously there's different criterias in every country, but
for sure
I know that they're all just doing their very best to keep us at ease and communicated well and everything. So
it's amazing that you use the word community to describe it, because that's something that I have also been associating to, the ballet community. And it really truly is, aside from the profession, aside from our social network and our social circles, it's been an incredible, feat of community that I think we have been seeing globally with brands, organizations, companies, just people. And that's something that I really wanted to take a moment to acknowledge, because it really is, in a time where we are so distant and things are not the normal by any means. It's important to praise ourselves with those little accomplishments that we've been able to have already this far. So I think that is really, truly an incredible, wonderful thing. And so I want to dive into a couple of these questions that people have sent in. And again, using your knowledge, using your own personal experience, what, especially at a time right now where we're all dealing with high stress, we're all dealing with a lot of anxiety, regardless if we've never seen a bareMinerals product in our life, what can you talk about with the importance of self-care?
I think now more than ever, all of us, especially with work, with family, with friends, are realizing, what does self-care look like? And when I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking, how would you treat your mom? How would you treat your best friends? How would you want to look after the people around you that you love? And for me, that is so important while we're isolated, is to replicate what we would do for our loved ones, for our mom, for our friends, and obviously try to turn it around on ourselves. And it's not a natural thing, I don't think, to compliment yourself or to make yourself to look after yourself as much as you should. But now more than ever, for immunity, against being poorly and things like that, you need to make sure that you're eating healthily, that you've got the right diet. So that to me is eating some fruit, but then also having a bar of chocolate so that I can get my sugar rush and make myself feel that I've given myself those home comforts. But I just think it's each day planning, to pamper yourself, to make yourself feel that you have taken care of yourself. So it could be as simple as buying some bath salts, which I've just ordered a whole extra stash of bath salts, because I seem to be having so many baths at the moment just to relax. But just making sure that we're taking time to obviously use social media as a really great platform. And I want to say to you that I think this has been incredible, these conversations with Ali. I've tuned into many of them over the past few weeks, and I think just by doing these conversations, having a positive outlook, trying to be positive in this weird time right now, I really admire you, Ali. I think it's a really great thing that you have obviously, you've brought people together. I've looked forward to watching them. I've obviously been excited about today, but also nervous to make sure I say this and I say that. But I think overall, it's inspiring that different generations. For me, obviously, I feel like I'm still a millennial, which is cool, but I think different generations really have embraced different parts of social media, and I think that in itself has been such a self-care. And in this time that I've had a fluctuation of like being really well one day and then not being very well the next, and because of people like yourself and moments like this, it's obviously made a difference. So
I'm so glad to hear. And it's incredible too for me, because I've talked, you've said you've seen a bit of this series as well. I've talked about things with dancers, such as healthy body image and having a healthy outlook of who we are and being enough. And obviously we've been discussing that more of on a professional standpoint, from how that all looks like in a ballet profession. But we can translate this just to the human things, non-dancer as well. How important is it really having a healthy image of yourself at this time as well? Because, again, our normal day-to-day life patterns are different, and we are spending a lot more time, and you mentioned social media, which can be a wonderful thing, but it can also be a thing where we're very critical about ourselves, or we see an icon or a celebrity or somebody who we really look up to, and they're doing this in their life, and it's maybe not what you're doing in yours. And it can sometimes create this bubble of, I'm not enough, or I'm not doing this right, or there's something that's not enough with me. And so what can you speak to, from the side of, what the power of good looks like, when translated into a real life application?
I think, this time where we've been away from work has been a real time to reflect on ourselves. So you said about how healthy self-image. So I think for myself, it's made me think, okay, where am I really fit? Where am I really unfit? What is my day-to-day diet like? I've been doing sort of emergency delivery orders to get food in and things, and I've been thinking, what am I actually putting on these orders compared to what I would normally just automatically grab in the supermarket?
Sure.
So it has made me conscious of looking at maybe little flaws that I found myself, but actually seeing them as an opportunity rather than a flaw, of something to, after this is all over, that we maintain being a bit healthier and being a bit more conscious of those things.
Yeah.
But then also with the power of good, for me, especially with our brand, it's what we live and breathe every day anyway. But, even more so at this time, it can be anything from as simple as like you bringing those handmade sanitizers into me just before all this pandemic broke out.
Yeah.
Which I know it sounds daft, but even in this time, I've still got those couple of little bottles that you gave me, and I thought, like, they have been my key sanitizers that I've been using in this time, and I've just been refilling them and things like that. And that moment of good that you passed on has obviously helped me through. And then little things like, my next door neighbor, he's on his own, and then to keep our brain occupied, we painted his garden fence the other day, and we like lifted them all out, my husband and I. And then, we messaged him, does he need anything from the supermarket? But I think back on counter, it wouldn't just be about our makeup and how amazing the product is and how good it is for your skin. It's also about that self-esteem and And, you know, if you've got a zit on your face, knowing that you can hide that zit, but to empower that, you know, it's not just about trying to hide that, it's to make you feel better so that you feel like
Yeah.
you've walked away feeling positive.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that answer, and it's amazing as well, you know, how, and I want to get a little bit more onto the now makeup side of things, because of course that is your world. I am just visiting, and you know, this is something also that is maybe a bit of a sensitive topic for some people. You know, for me, it's very commonplace because I mean, I don't wear a whole lot of makeup on the normal day-to-day basis, but in my career,
Flawless face, you don't need it.
oh, stop. But in my career, I mean, you've seen me dance, and I come off stage, and it's like I'm wearing a mask because it's full on heavy duty stage makeup. And so, obviously, within my career field, and you know, there's oftentimes a lot of stereotypes and stigmas about, you know, is makeup for everybody? We can take this off stage as well, you know. Who can wear makeup, who can't, you know? What are your thoughts on people who maybe have differing thoughts or differing opinions on, is makeup for everybody?
It absolutely is. You know, I've been doing this job for a long, long time. And if you'd have met me when I was 17, Ali, and I offered to do a wing liner on you, you would have been like, is there anyone else around that can help do this? Definitely, I didn't used to have the same skill set that I have now. And even now, I think you can't measure makeup. The rules are endless. We always say at Bare that there's guidelines, there's no rules, and I think absolutely everybody can delve into it, but you just have to set yourself a goal and a little challenge of just step by step doing it, building it. I mean,
Sure.
I genuinely, in the years that I've worked in this industry, I have met every single walk of life, from someone who has been so confident to wear makeup every day to someone who was literally frightened to come to the counter to speak to us, until they realize that we're all bonkers and we can all have a laugh and we can make the makeup really enjoyable. But I think it just depends what you want to achieve. So, you know, if you were just starting out with makeup, we would always say you need to start with your skincare, start with how you're treating your skin so that the makeup sit better.
Yeah.
And then, you know, because it's absolutely endless and there's so much that you can do, I think you have to take small steps and learn a simple eye look first, and then a smoky eye. And then if you want to learn how to contour, you can delve into different lessons and different tutorials. The internet is explosive with all of the tips and tricks that are out there. But I think going back to the community side of it, you know, I'm sure there's a friend somewhere that you know that's maybe less confident at makeup compared to somebody who is. And I think if you look in your circle of your community to see who is around you, then you can sort of start that conversation
Yeah.
to say, I really want to get into this, but I wouldn't have a clue where. And then you just go from there.
Absolutely. No, I love that. And I want to quickly address, because I've got my computer here, and so people are sending things in. And then so someone has asked, you know, how did the two of us meet? This is slightly, I mean, it's not off topic, but a little bit off the discussion. Long story short, well, I mean, I don't know, maybe I should let Helen do this one. I don't know.
No, you tell it. You
Well,
tell it.
when well, obviously I'm dancing with the Birmingham Royal Ballet, and when when I started dancing over there, I somehow fell into a position where I'm able to work pretty closely with their development and PR and media and just, you know, their branding type marketing team. And we had all these amazing meetings and ideas on ways that we can shout louder about the ballet, and ways that we can collaborate, and ways that we can really get our name out there to the general public, and ways that will also benefit the dancers as well. And so one thing that really, dancers tend to struggle with. I mean, I don't want to say struggle, but one thing that's a common trend with dancers is we all are big skincare addicts because we have makeup on our face for hours, like especially when we have a double show day, that's sometimes 12 hours a day where you just have constant product on your skin, and nothing is worse than taking it off and just having your skin being red and irritated and just a painful mess. And I was like, well, I don't have that problem because I use bareMinerals. And I found my local bareMinerals, in Birmingham, because Helen is in charge in the Birmingham city center location. And so I found the counter there, and I just went in for my own personal needs. And in a matter of a couple minutes of conversing, Helen has become, my fairy godmother per se, my facialist, my makeup artist, and then she has beautifully helped me facilitate a working relationship between the Birmingham Royal Ballet and bareMinerals, which we are hoping to continue to facilitate and grow when all of this craziness passes. So that's a little story time. But yeah, but aside from that, Helen has also been someone who came into my life as a friend, as a lovely person, and that is probably the best part.
Just before all the pandemic happened, we were going to film some YouTube videos, weren't we, at your house? And went a bit crazy.
To be continued. It will happen eventually. Hopefully when I'm back on that side of the UK, and hopefully when we cannot be, 6 feet apart, whatever that is. So, and then I wanted to tap on one last little topic per se, and that is, the importance of, this is something that's been absolutely mind-blowing to me, aside from dancers, is just the amount of creativity that I have seen on social media and with my friend circles and just people, on the internet. And it's been wonderful. It inspires me. I'm someone who loves to create. I'm someone who loves to inspire and put good out there. Also it's been so important to me to be able to continue to create content and create materials that does just that for other people. And so I wanted to discuss with you and see your thoughts and see your feelings on how important it is to tap into and pay attention to self-exploration during this time, because I'm not able to really explore more of my career. I'm doing what I can at home. I'm keeping myself going, but I have all this time on my hands to learn more about Allie the person.
Yeah. Well, I think there's two things. There's one that in a couple of your previous conversations, when you've talked about, I'm not just Allie the ballerina, what else am I about? And I think with that, it's the same sort of thing. It's tapping into your skill set. It's seeing what abilities you have. So, for me, I absolutely love singing. And yesterday I was recording songs in the kitchen, and I was sending it to my dad, and I was sending it to my family. And it's made me, think outside of bareMinerals. What do I love doing? What makes me smile? What brings my energy levels up to think that, however hard it is right now, what can I do to actually help my immune system by being positive? I think also it was Juliet that said last week about how sometimes some of the worst times that you have in your life can obviously bring out the best in you. And I think this is definitely, obviously we see across social media and things a mixed bag of information that's out there, but I think overall, even at the moment, every Thursday, our community is obviously clapping for the NHS, the National Health Service, at 8 p.m. every Thursday. And the Thursday just gone, all of our street came out and there was someone singing. And I think it's mad, but there's a neighbour that's opposite me that I've never spoken to in 5 years. Not because obviously, but your ships are passing the night, you're at work, and
Yeah.
I'd found out that she was a singing teacher, and I thought, oh, I really want to connect with her so that maybe we can do like a duet across the street or something like that. But that has, made us explore into who actually do we connect with in our local area that we would never have normally have thought to have spoken to.
Absolutely, yeah.
But then also even things like doing this live with you, and I found myself thinking, how would I want to present my social media? Do I want to delve more into doing videos, and perhaps we could do a live where we do each other's makeup with tips and tricks. Like, I have to tell you what step to take and vice versa. But that overall, it does make you think that there's so many other opportunities for us in life, and above all, we need to count our blessings. We need to be grateful that hopefully most of all of our family and friends are all safe, and that realistically we're admiring all of the frontline workers at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think because time passes so quickly, we do need to look at how lucky we are and what we can do with having air in our lungs. The opportunities and ideas are endless.
Absolutely.
But I think with exploring makeup, that side of it, I've got so many friends at the moment that are just looking at local sort of magazines. They're looking on catwalks, they're looking at what the latest trends are, and they're creating videos themselves at home, and then they're sending it and saying, what do you think of this? And I'm like, that's amazing, that's brilliant. But I think, again, for yourself, when you normally do your makeup for Swan Lake, this could be a time while you're at home where you can practice a different style of how you do your makeup for Swan Lake, and using it as fun and positivity.
Yeah, tapping into that creativity and giving yourself a chance to do something that maybe you wouldn't normally have the time to do in your normal day-to-day routine. So I love that, and I think it's, Helen, you are someone who you're my little ray of sunshine in Birmingham. When because I'm so used to the Florida sun, we don't really have that over there too much. So thank you for being someone who shines so much light into my life and to the lives of many others, whether it be through bareMinerals or just through human interaction. So I want to thank you so much for being on this little special edition of Conversations with allieetoile. It means the world to me. And for those who are watching and for those who will see this later, I have created, with the amazing work of my editor and the amazing counsel of Helen, a lot of people have been writing in and asking, how do I do my makeup when I am on camera? Or at least when I'm YouTubing or doing these conversations, what products am I using? How am I doing it? So I decided to film a little how Allie does her YouTube makeup tutorial, and that is going to be available on my YouTube coming soon, so make sure that you don't miss that. And let me know if you guys are going to be checking out bareMinerals in the future. I highly recommend them. I think they're wonderful. Helen, I think you're wonderful.
If they want us to do some more makeup orientated things,
yes, anything. If there's any more questions, please send them into Helen, send them into myself. This is again, one of the biggest takeaways has just been seeing people create and be creative. And that, to me, is the best gift that I could receive by doing this, is being able to inspire people to do something, to keep them going. And so, it's been an absolute pleasure. Helen, thank you again for all of your insight. I know that there's a few more questions being sent in, and unfortunately we do not have any more time for them. But I do want to thank everyone who's been part of this today, and for those who maybe missed the first bit or would like to share this video with a friend, it will be on the allieetoile YouTube very soon. And for more details on Helen and bareMinerals, you can check out her artist profile page on allieetoile.com. Helen, you're the best. Thank you for joining me today.
Love you so much. Take care, darling.
Bye, guys. See you next time.